Everything that you want to manifest into your life all starts with you doing this one thing. It's deciding. Because once you decide that something is for you, that something is happening, that something is meant to be in your life, the universe will co-conspire to help make that happen, to manifest it into existence. But if you don't decide with true grounded conviction, the universe doesn't know what to work with you on. It doesn't know what to bring to you. It doesn't feel that emphatic conviction from you in order to help you manifest this into reality. And we're going to show you today that the action of manifestation is right here at your fingertips, and it's something that you can do immediately right now and put it into play.
If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash making advice. Now let's get to it.
What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your relationships, your abundance, and everything in between. This is part 3 of my special September Saga to celebrate my birthday month, but also the launch of my brand new, never before released Guided Workbook Course. And part 3 is the focus on the action of manifestation. Now, full disclosure, if you've been listening to the other 2 parts of the series, you know that I caught some kind of a bug and I am manifesting my way to rapid healing so that I didn't have to reschedule my birthday trip. And I want to let you know that it's been a success. And if you've been following over on my Instagram stories at ProjectME with Tiffany, you already know that my trip happened and I was able to do that. And I'm going to use that as an example today. So you can see that the action of manifestation doesn't just apply to money, doesn't just apply to things, but it can work for relationships, friendships, and your health, and all sorts of areas of your life. And there's 3 primary actions when it comes to igniting manifestations and bringing them into fruition. And I'm going to cover those in a second. First thing is, I've decided to extend my special ProjectME Posse Business Coaching Program sale for my birthday month. So we're doing a birthday bonus sale. You can get into my posse right now. There's a few new member spots left, and you will get my $297 content creation made easy course bundle for free upon signing up. So this is where in the posse, you get live weekly trainings from me and other special guest experts, everything from deeper stuff when it comes to unpacking your money story and getting into a wealth mindset, and all the strategic stuff for you to start, grow, and scale your business from 0 to about $15,000 consistent months. You can go to projectmewithtiffany.com/ProjectMe Posse. Swipe up, it's in the show notes. If you're watching on the tube, on the good old YouTube, it's in the description. And you get to see my really fun robe that I'm wearing. If you pop over on YouTube, you get a little extra perky for being on there. Full disclosure, I am very highly medicated right now, but I can still deliver this episode. It just might have some extra sauce on it. And there is 1 ticket remaining for my 2-day in-person business mastermind, the Abundance League here in Los Angeles at my beach house on the 19th and 20th of September. This is the last chance to be able to work with me at this level in person for the rest of the year. So what you'll walk away from in this event, and this is where you're really taking like heavy all-in action, where you're like, enough's enough already. I'm tired of kicking the can down the road. I've wasted enough time. I've wasted enough energy. I've even wasted enough money investing in kind of small, low-level stuff. And I need to stop messing around and really go for it to get great results. This is your move. It's only $3,500. And some of you are going, oh my God, $3,500. Well, then there's the rest of you who are going, oh my God, I can't believe it's only $3,500. Typically, something like this would be $10,000 or more. I mean, 2 full days with me and my team, you're going to walk away knowing exactly what you need to do strategically to get more of your ideal clients buying your offers, a fully customized and profitable content marketing plan so you can end 2023 making more money in your business than ever, a plan to expand your audience and your visibility and your following and your email lists with people who are eager and excited to buy from you. We're doing incredible exercises live where I'm bringing in the top experts to uncover your subconscious money blocks and how to shift them quickly so you can receive abundance with ease. And I think this is the most important part, a renewed sense of energy and passion and excitement for your business. This will truly be the most fun you've ever had at a business-focused event in your life. Because what do I always say? The more fun we have, the more money we make, because that is an energy of expansion. That is an energy of attraction. And whatever energy we're in, whatever energy we're emitting is what we end up receiving more of. So you ever notice how when you're like, I call it in a cunty mood, you're in a cunty mood and you spill your coffee and then you have to wait in an extra long line and then the traffic's bad. And it just seems like one thing happens after another. And you're like, oh, it's like too hot outside. And, you know, your clothes are fitting too tight and someone else irritates you. And that is because when we're in that energetic space, we actually like end up seeing more of the shit. We end up seeing and attracting more of what our current energy state is, which is why I give you guys for free those abundance walks. And you can still get my summer abundance walks for free, by the way. And that link's in the show notes as well. Same with my mastermind experience. There's one, like I said, one ticket left. So don't mess around. That's in there. It's in the description on YouTube. Everything's in there. Swipe up. But that is why I do those abundance walks and I have those daily practices and I have my clients do those things. And that is why we purposely infuse monthly this kind of work to shift you back into the abundance zone when you've been in scarcity. Because the longer we stay in that abundance zone, the more that we're in it, the more abundance we're going to attract. You can't live in it. We're human beings. There's too much shit going on. There's too many outside factors. There's too many internal factors. We have past traumas. We have dramas stored in us. We have our issues stored in our tissues. We have medical stuff. We have hormones. It's not possible. So don't feel like you have to always be in it, but you need to intentionally do things to stay in it. So this is the first prime action of the 3 that I want to cover today. So it's intentional energy management. If we do not intentionally manage our energy and we just kind of like leave it out to be, that would be like a leaf blowing in the wind. It just goes wherever. It could end up in a gutter. It could end up on a roof of a car. It could end up in the ocean. It could end up in someone's lap. You want to intentionally and deliberately take actions to preserve and enhance the quality of your energy. And this needs to happen every day. This needs to be a priority. Now, are there some days, even some weeks where I fall off on this? Absolutely. And it doesn't end well. It's not cute. What usually snaps me back out of it and clients of mine is when we've not been in this daily practice and we've gotten off track, whether we've been sick or some other drama happened in our lives. A lot of times what happens is things are going so well, and then you stop doing those things that got you there. When I was a pharmaceutical rep, fun fact about me, those of you who didn't know that. And one of the companies I was with, and then I ended up being like a manager and a national trainer and all this stuff, but we sold lithium. And one of the issues with that drug, it's for bipolar patients, is that once the patients felt good or felt stable, they didn't want to take those meds anymore. And this is so common in anything with a lot of medications like that. People are like, oh, I feel good now. I did this with my own antidepressant. I was like, you know what? I've been on this for years and I'm feeling really good. I'm going to go off it. Let me tell you something. Even though I went off it responsibly and titrated down, this did not go well. I'll just, without going into the details, like I need to be medicated. That's why I'm very pro medication. And there's no shame in that game if that is something that you need and medical professionals feel you need. And I'm also very pro spending apparently $350 in 2 days on shaman blessed green juice in order to be healthy enough for my birthday trip, whatever it takes around here. But that is what I notice is things are going so well and the abundance walks are working. And then you're listening to my podcast and maybe you're in the posse and you're like, I'm making money. We just had, I should have pulled this up ahead of time. So exciting. I took a screenshot of it. She DM'd me. It was one of our listeners. And she had been doing the abundance walks deliberately every single day, listening to the podcast, all the things. And she had almost, here is it here? I really should have had this pulled up. Almost $100,000 in student loan debt, plus the interest that occurred on it, forgiven. And it just happened last week. I'll share her feedback inside my Instagram stories at ProjectME with Tiffany. I mean, it really can happen that way. But she took action. She's intentionally making sure she's managing that energy. So you're like, well, Tiffany, give more examples on what that looks like. Don't worry, I'm going to. But first, let me explain to you why it's worth it, because we kind of have to sell ourselves on it in order for you to prioritize it. That eating a certain way and getting enough movement is healthy for your body, is going to get you results. You're going to feel light and trim and all of that. So you've got to be convinced that it's going to work for you to do it. It's no different than if someone is wanting me to try a different strategy or a system or a platform or something in my business. I need to know it's going to work in order for it to be worth my time, energy, and money to do it. Or I at least need to believe it or be willing to experiment. So at least be willing to experiment. But let me give you the data on how this works. When most people manifest, they're focusing on, and I did this too, focusing on what you're wishing for, what you're wanting, right? Like, I want a multiple 7-figure business. I want my podcast to have tens of millions of downloads. I want to make, a minimum of $100,000 a week passively. I want to have the most amazing marriage, blah, 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 whatever. And that's okay. But when we want something, what we're signaling is we don't yet have it. It's like yearning for something, dreaming for something. And that it's all right, but that's not going to get you where you want to go and fast. What I need you to consciously and intentionally shift your energy to is the knowing, is it's happening. In fact, it's already here. And I know it can be too far of a stretch to say, like, oh, I make a minimum of $100,000 a week passively. Like, and if you're like, I'm not even making $1 passively now. So like, that's too far of a stretch. I need you to be in the energy of knowing it's happening because you see evidence of it happening for other people. So this is absolutely happening for me. And I want you to exercise your energy and your brain and your body to go sit in what that's going to feel like. Sit in the action of how light you're going to feel, how you can take deeper breaths. What types of actions would you be taking, knowing that that is in fact happening for you? The reason we want to be in that energy is because being in an energy of knowing it's absolutely happening is going to open up new ideas, new opportunities, bring ways to us to confirm that it's happening. So let's use the example for my health. I caught this. I'm not even like labeling what it is because it doesn't matter. Pretty heavy, right? I caught this bug and I was like, oh my God, worst timing. I have all the stuff I want to do and get done before I leave for my birthday trip. I don't want to have to reschedule my trip. This sucks. I mean, no one wants to get sick and it's never a good time, right? And instead of me focusing on, I want to get better, I want to get better, I want to feel this, I want to feel healthy, I focused on the energy of how it is going to feel that I would know by the time, at least a day before it was going to be my flight to leave, that I knew I'd be able to go and enjoy my trip. Like I felt well enough. And I just kept focusing on that and kept taking actions to support that. Hence the $350 in shaman blessed juice and the medication. And I just kept saying, without a doubt, I'm going. I went and followed through and got my mani-pedi appointment and past like any contagious point, of course. But I could have blown that off. But why would I blow that off? I took an action assuming I'm going. So I want you to take actions and be in the energy of assuming it's happening, right? I got my bikini waxed, right? Like assuming it's happening. What else can I do assuming it's happening? I took my suitcase out. Did I pack everything? No, I didn't have the energy to do that, but I took it out. I took the passport out. So what are some actions you can do in whichever area of your life? This happens, I noticed, we're random example, but it came to my head with people who are getting married or like a big event. They'll buy like their wedding dress or they'll buy their event dress and they know that they want to kind of trim up and lose some weight and get in better shape for it. So they'll buy it like a size smaller, knowing that without a doubt, they're going to make sure that they fit in that dress. And I've never heard of a bride where it didn't fit. If anything, they needed to make alterations to like take it in more. So what are some actions you can take for the things you're wanting to manifest? If you're wanting a partner and you're feeling lonely in life, how would you act? What things would you do knowing you're having a partner? Would you make sure that you actually shave your legs regularly? Would you set trip dates? Would you create a plan to go on a romantic trip? Why not be in the energy of doing all those things, assuming it's happening for you? In business, it would be like, okay, you're investing before the money's there. That's why there's business loans. That's why there's PayPal credit. That's why there's so many different ways, credit cards to pay me, is because you don't open a restaurant and the money is just sitting there. Restaurants, jewelry lines, e-commerce stores, coaching, whatever it is, you're doing it because you know you're going to make it work and you know you're going to make sure that the people come. That's why you're willing to put that kind of money on the line. So you're taking those kind of actions knowing, but if you aren't in a knowing and taking actions and have energy accordingly, then you end up not investing the money and not taking these necessary risks. And then therefore nothing happens. Imagine if I didn't get the nails done, didn't get waxed, didn't have the shaman blessed juice, didn't have all these medications delivered to me from the pharmacy, didn't put myself in a healing cocoon this weekend, didn't take the passport out. If I didn't do all these things, there's no way I would have be going on the trip, because I would have been so focused on how crappy I felt and I would be feeling sorry for myself. And what do you think would have come out of that? Imagine not buying the event dress or tuxedo, whatever it is, or you're buying it even like at the same size you are now. Do you think really that there would be a high likelihood that you're going to get in your best shape before that event? Of course not, because you've not set things up that way. Now let's go on to the action of manifestation, number 2. And if you're loving this series, by the way, please share this with someone. This 4-part series is so powerful. And for me, The best gift I can give for my birthday month is to give you the gift of this, because this is what has taken me from making $17,000 a year to having millions in the bank. That there's nothing more empowering than not having to depend on any person, place, thing, or job or institution for money. That way, whoever I partner with, who I'm friends with, whatever clients I take, whatever programs or products I put out, it's from my heart. It's not because out of a need. It's out of a true, genuine, abundant desire. And remember, we are about to close out the free gift where you can get my Make More and Work Less guided workbook course for free by leaving an Apple podcast review of the show. So all you have to do is leave a written review of the show, put your name or Instagram, TikTok handle in the review. Some people don't want to put their name. That's okay. Just make sure you put your Instagram or TikTok handle so we can cross-reference. Take a screenshot and email it to us at support@projectmewithtiffany.com. Those instructions are also in the show notes and in the description on YouTube. So you can simply swipe up. And then once this special gift giveaway is over, we will be sending it out. Now, this started as a workbook, which is more than enough there. But then I had an incredible divine download to turn this into a guided workbook course. And I'm giving that part to you guys as well. So you're getting audios and videos. It's a full course. And then I will be selling this and launching this month towards the end of the month. So you can wait and pay for it, or you can get it for free by taking 30 seconds and showing your support for the show. Now, this last component is definitely going to blow your mind a little bit. It's actually to take no action. If you take too much action and you're doing all of these tasks and you're doing all of the things, that's coming out of a space of doubt and scarcity. That's not coming in a space of abundance. I have this natural tendency. It is the flip side of people who are in avoidance, who take no action at all. That's not healthy either. That's being right in an avoidant money style, which you guys will also love that series, my money attachment style series. You need to go listen to that too. I tend to go into the anxious, which is like overperforming, overdoing. And when you're in that spot, that frantic energy, that is not a space of abundance. That is not in the energy of knowing this is without a doubt happening for me. You wouldn't be acting like that if you knew without a doubt it was happening. You are acting out a core belief that most of us have had imprinted and implanted in us from society, from our childhood, from work environments, from mass media, that you have to do more to make more. You have to sacrifice in order to get. You've got to do to have. And it's simply not true. It doesn't mean, though, the opposite end of the spectrum where you do nothing, but there's a healthy balance there. So I want you to practice the action of being in action. It's the patience and pausing. You do take these actions that are intentional along with the intentional energy shifting, and you invest in things, your time, energy, and money in things, knowing this is happening, like the examples I've given you in this episode. But then you have to have patience and pause. It's the stuff that you're doing in between is the patience and pause. I caught myself the other night where I was like really obsessed with getting Primatene Mist, which I'm laughing because it's the only in the US, it's the only oral, like an over the counter inhaler on the market. And one of my inhalers that I have as prescription is like very expired. I shouldn't be using it. And I wanted to get it and they were out everywhere. And I got in this like obsessive loop where I'm like, I have to find a drugstore that has it. I have to. And I caught myself and I started laughing. It's like after the fifth store, it's like, Tiffany, you don't need it, obviously, because if you were supposed to have it, it would be available. You already took some action to find it and research it, and it's not necessary, and you don't need it. And I went, oh my God, I'm doing my anxious action taking, which was out of me being afraid that I wasn't doing enough in order to heal my body enough, in order to feel well enough to go on my birthday trip. Do you see what I mean? And a lot of you do this in relationships, in dating, with your body, for sure in your business, for sure with money. And so I went, okay, I've got to pause, because you can have a lot of patience and pause when you know without a doubt it's happening. If you knew someone showed you a check, let's say it was for 100 grand. They showed you a check. You could cross-reference it, make sure the funds were good. It was in your name. You even had a cashier's check version of it where at a certain date, you could go cash it in the bank and it would for sure be good. How would you act? You would be excited. You would start imagining all of the things that you could buy or do or donate or invest back into your business with it. You would probably be lighter. My guess is you'd have like a pep in your step, right? Like you'd be like, oh my God, this is great. You'd feel abundant, because even though you had to wait, let's say 15 days before you could cash it, but you knew it was there. This is the same premise, the same thing that you need to do in all these other areas of your life. You need to imagine it is that solid, it is that there, and act accordingly. And then it will appear. This requires faith and surrender. What is faith? Acting as if, knowing it's going to be there, trusting. And it's easy to have faith when the shit's in front of us, but that's not true faith. So in the pausing, I just had to go, listen, I'm trusting that I've done all I can do at this exact moment. And I'm turning it over. I'm surrendering the rest to the universe, and whatever's supposed to be will be. If I'm supposed to go on this trip, then I'll go on this trip. If I have to reschedule it, I'm trusting that I'm supposed to be here. And you can apply the same thing to any area of your life, whether it's a promotion, whether it's you're getting more clients in your business, whether that is you starting a podcast, it doesn't matter. Turn those results over, turn that over, because you've already taken the action. And grinding and forcing and pushing is only going to result in you pushing away that manifestation or delaying it. You want to know how I got fucking sick in the first place? I got into that anxious energy attachment. I got into a loop. I did not catch myself. There were signs. I ignored them. And I got into this loop. It was like 5 or 6 weeks of it, where I was overexerting my body physically. I was doing it with my new workouts. I was doing it with stuff with work. There was a lot. I got stuck in this loop. I ignored some of the signs, and the universe is like, we're going to humble her, stop her in her tracks. She's not practicing patience and pausing enough. So if you're getting sick, or you are sick now, or you're feeling exhausted, your body's not lying. It's actually screaming at you. It is saying you're not practicing the patience and the pausing and the surrender. I get triggered with this when a lot of really good things come to fruition, when I'm like manifesting at a rapid pace. And the show, by the way, and I thank all of you for being longtime listeners and new supporters of the show. I mean, we are consistently growing, and we've hit top 16 in the world, but we're definitely like top 30 and above all the time. And then on the overall business chart, which there's millions and millions of shows, we were in the top 100, next to shows that have like tens of millions of downloads. So exciting, right? And then all these people are joining my ProjectME Posse business coaching membership and are loving it and are so excited and are saying things like, God, just for getting that content creation made easy course that you're giving as a free bonus tip, that was worth it by itself. That's amazing by itself. The results people are getting are undeniable. And you can hear from current members when you go to the sign up page. Now, when you go to the sign up page, if it says close, that means it's full. This is not a membership with thousands and thousands of people where I can't keep track of you, where you don't get your questions answered, where you don't really have accountability. I don't like memberships like that. I don't think they're super effective. So I keep mine capped at an intimate enough size where I can truly call it, where it's like a true group coaching experience and where we notice if you're there or not there. So practice that pause, practice being in the surrender. Imagine that check is there. I imagine myself sitting in first class on the plane and taking a deep breath and not being nervous about flying, that like the cabin pressure is going to hurt my ears. I'm so glad I took such good care of myself and I didn't reschedule the trip. I'm so happy that I'm here. I pictured myself frolicking on the beach, luxuriating, enjoying myself, being so happy I had this extra time to pause, and even thanking the universe for humbling me and making me sick because I needed to slow down and I needed a pattern interrupt that I wasn't able to see myself. And these things are really happening for us, even though it doesn't feel like it at the time. It really is happening. And if you're having some shit happening in your life, maybe even explore and go, how could this be happening for me right now? Right? You might not be yet at the point where you can say, I totally agree this is happening for me, but at least investigate. How could this be happening for me? Because usually our best lessons come when we are incredibly humbled. So get yourself in this action. Go download the abundance walks. We're coming up on, obviously, fall harvest season, at least here in the US, obviously not in Australia. But it doesn't matter. Those abundance walks, whatever season of them you're listening to, they all apply. And take an action of what you would do, knowing without a doubt that what it is you want is going to work. Would you be at my live event? Would you be in the posse? Would you do both? What would you do? Would you create something? How would you be acting? How would you carry yourself? Would you be smiling? Would you be lighter? Would you be joking? Would you be planning a dream trip? Would you be working out more? What would happen? And if you're resisting going into these 3 actions that I reviewed today, that's something for you to take a look at too. Because why would you resist doing something that you are believing works? It's probably because you're not believing it's going to be worth it and it's going to work for you. Well, then now you know what area you need to do some extra work on for yourself, because if this is possible for me, it's possible for you. It really is. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. And don't forget to leave a written Apple Podcast review so we can send you my guided workbook course. Swipe up. All the instructions are inside the show notes. It takes 30 seconds, and it's also in the description on YouTube.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.